fabric of the society and the country that we know and exist in right now already begins to change drastically and dramatically. You stop paying the IRS. The IRS is the number one way that they fund the military. The military is funded by the IRS. And that military is being used against its own people. That military is, they're militarizing police, as we've seen here in Arlington, Texas. They're militarizing, local city police forces all across the country. They're militarizing them.
Oh, I was tutoring at a center for Latino kids last year, and we went down for recess, and there's a SWAT truck full of guys, walking around, probably 40 yards away from where the kids are playing. I had to take them all inside, like I have no idea what's going on. They're going somewhere else, but just the general climate of fear that men with guns and helmets creates. I don't know. It seems that either they don't understand that or
it's care. Part of their plan.
Yeah, that is the plan.
Yeah, that's part of their plan. I mean, fear is one of the most powerful control mechanisms that there is, and it's one of the most common tactics used, throughout history. That's how most dictatorships have, maintained their power is through fear.
Sure.
and they do that with military force. So technically speaking, technically speaking, our land is actually it's occupied by. We're actually occupied by foreign military. We're actually occupied, and so that's that's a pretty dangerous thing in and of itself. And in many ways, we're actually already in martial law. All of these things that are being passed because of the terrorist stuff. Those are all like martial powers. That are being enacted. We're on the brink, man. We're on the edge. And the common American doesn't see it because they're just playing their video games, they're watching their TV, and they're sitting in traffic.
And the ones that are, if they're tuned into mainstream media, 90% of the mainstream media is owned by 5 multinational corporations.
Right. The mainstream media is owned by, the mega corporations, and the mega corporations are, the ones that control the government. And, it's all this, it's all this high, you have to give it to them. They are diabolical geniuses. There's no question about that. They've orchestrated a massively successful slave system. The best slaves are the ones that think they're free. And, it's working really well. So I don't know if there's actually hope of really waking up the slaves, waking up the masses, because, they're just watching the news and they're sitting in traffic. I don't really know, if it's possible or not. But what I do know is that it is possible to live free. It is possible to live healthy. It is possible to live independent. It is possible to live sustainable. And all of us that are aware of the problem, that's the only real solution. That's the only real solution, is to stop participating. It's like, I know a lot of, activists, a lot of, protests, it's like the Occupy,
Sure.
Occupy groups, like, those are a lot of real brave, passionate, great-hearted men and women. Some of the bravest people that I've ever met. But really, those protests do nothing. They really do nothing. And this is a really, sort of a funny paradox. But ask yourself this question. So these tens of thousands of people that are occupying a city, what are they eating while they're there?
Yeah. That's an excellent question.
Exactly. That's the only question you have to ask. And as soon as you look at the answer to that question, which is they're eating Taco Bell, they're eating Burger King, they're eating from the grocery store, they're eating at the restaurant, what that says is that they are paying the exact same thing that they're protesting against. And so what that means is that they're actually voting with what really matters for what they're protesting against. There's no resolution, there's no solution, there's no change there. the people at the upper tops, they're just drinking their champagne, laughing. Wow, these guys, I got to give it to them. They're brave, but man, they got no idea what they're actually doing. And it's like, so the people that are aware that the system isn't working, the people that are aware, it does work for what its intended purpose is, but its intended purpose is slavery and control. So the people that are aware that it isn't what they want it to be, it's not what they want to be a part of, the only real solution is to stop participating. And what that means is that we've got to either grow our own food or we've got to buy it from somebody who is growing it themselves. We've got to create our own electricity, or we've got to use it from somebody who's creating it themselves, or not use it at all. We've got to, if we're going to use money, we've got to find a way to get money without, paying taxes, without, working for a mega corporation. It's got to be some independent, sustainable, self-employed, non-tax paying revenue. That's the only way. Those are all very, very, very real, applicable, available solutions. But we have to choose. We have to choose those.
Sure. Well, I tell you what, I thank you very much for your time. I'm going to let you get out of here. But if anyone wants to get in contact with Eden Garden, or Garden of Eden, or you, how do you suggest that you do that?
The two best ways would to be find us on our webpage, which is intothegardenofeden.com. And the next best way, which is actually the best way for continuous updates and whatnot, is our Facebook page. And you can find us on Facebook. We're Garden of Eden, Kennedale.
Okay.
So if you type in the Garden of Eden Kennedale, we'll come up, and we post all the interviews that we do with different people and media. And just real quick to mention about the media and interviews. We had all the big media people come here and do a story, but not a single one of them shared any of the real details that we were wanting them to share. They just shared that raid came and killed destroyed some blackberry bushes and okra. They weren't against us. They were on our side per se. But they didn't share any of the real details, like about what the solutions are that I've been talking to you about.
Sure.
About how we had established, before, way before the raid, many months way before the raid, we'd established on the record, that we were free and that we'd already challenged the jurisdiction and we'd already proved that the statutes and codes were void ab initio, blah, blah. They didn't talk about any of the real, meaningful, important stuff. So it's really important that, people like you and other people do real stories and do real coverage and share that with the people, because people need to start getting real information. And if you start getting information like this versus the information that you see on, CBS or NBC, you're going to see that, whoa, that's the same story and yet it's completely different. And people start to wake up, people start to see. So, we post all of our stuff on Facebook, we post all our updates, and, this has only just begun. This whole thing has only just begun. We are dedicated and passionately inspired to, to really use this as an opportunity to show people that, due process of law is not being followed by the government, and that's very common, and it's only we the people that can make sure that it is followed. So, we're gonna see the justices enforced, and we're going to prove to people that if the government thinks it can do whatever it wants, there's going to be consequences to it, and I think that's going to inspire a lot of people.
Well, I'll tell you what, you have a great day. If you have anything else you'd like to add, you can send it to me. I will include links to those two addresses, your Facebook and website, in with this. And if you want to send me a photograph of yourself, because it's gonna be like a YouTube video, but I'm just gonna have still photographs in there with the audio underneath.
All right.
Okay. And good luck on everything. Keep me informed, because this really is it's something I've kind of got involved. Dayton is like the 4th hungriest city in the United States.
Wow.
We have like a food desert here that includes like almost 100,000 people. But you go into grocery stores all up and down North Main Street in Dayton, and will be greeted by the first row of malt liquor. And then maybe a couple of rotten vegetables and some brown meat. I'll send you a video that we did with hidden cameras last year. It's shocking what's going on in this country as far as a lot of these issues. So,
yeah.
Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, man. Appreciate your time as well.
All right. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
All right.
Good luck.
Thank you.